back with you, your Vidisha ma'am, with a new chapter for class 11 biological classification. This is a chapter 2 which includes needs of classification, types of classification like 2 kingdom, 3 kingdom, 4 kingdom and 5 kingdom classification. Thereafter the 6 kingdom classification. And then you will learn about the features of this 5 kingdom classification and finally the merit of the 5 kingdom classification. But I have split these topics into various videos. When today's video I am going to tell you about the needs of classification and the types of biological classification along with the feature of only plant and animal kingdom. So watch it. So my dear students, here I am with the topic of biological classification. Here I am going to tell you about the needs of classification first and then the types of classification system. So do watch it. Now the topic is needs of classification. Now there have been many attempts from the ancient time to classify organisms, but Aristotle was the earliest to attempt a scientific basis of classification. So what did he do? In case of animals, he classified animals in two groups. You can see here I have written the first one is with red blood known as Anaima and the second without red blood known as the Anaima. So this was the classification made by Aristotle in case of animal kingdom. And then what he did for the plants? He classified plants based on simple morphological characteristics into herbs, shrubs and trees. But this was not proper. So a need of proper classification system was always felt. And here then comes the classification system and the types of classification system that I told you. So what are the needs of classification? Let me discuss. Next come the need of classification. The first point for the need of classification. Study of one or more organisms is not sufficient to know essential features of the group. Thus classification is very important. Second is classification helps to know the relationships among the different groups of organisms. And third point is classification help in studying evolutionary relationships among organisms. That is the phylogenetic relationships are important to study which are related to one another. So these are the needs of classification system. So the types of classification system. The first one is two kingdom classification system which was proposed by Linnaeus or Carolus Linnaeus, who is also known as the father of taxonomy system. Now he has proposed this two kingdom classification in the year 1758. Now he proposed the two kingdoms, plants and animals. Now plants include algae, fungi, bacteria, bryophyta and spermatophyta. So according to Linnaeus, the plants were algae, fungi, bacteria, bryophyta and spermatophyta. These were the types of plants included in the plant kingdom. And then come the animal kingdom. In the animal kingdom, he has classified Coelenterata, Porifera, Platyhelminthes, Mollusca, Nemathelminthes, Annelida, Echinodermata and finally Chordata. So this was the two kingdoms that was classified by Carolus Linnaeus. Now let us see the features of plant kingdom and animal kingdom as proposed by Carolus Linnaeus. So here are the features of the plant kingdom. First point is unlimited growth. Plants grow unlimitedly throughout their lifetime. Their growth never stops. You have already read in previous classes why do plants grow unlimitedly, because they have the meristematic tissues in their body. Meristematic tissues help them to grow unlimitedly throughout their lifetime. Second is locomotion is absent. They cannot perform locomotion as they lack the various type of organ system as we the animals have. They do not have a muscular system for locomotion. They neither have a nervous system or any excretory system. Even they do not have any sense organ like the animals possess. Next come the other features as proposed by Linnaeus in his two kingdom classification, which is very important, that is cell wall. Presence of cell wall in plants. The plants absorb inorganic nutrients from the outside environment. They have a large central vacuole in the center of the cell, and their mode of nutrition is autotrophic. So these are the various points to remember. These are the features of the plant kingdom as proposed in the two kingdom classification by Linnaeus. Now here are the features of the animal kingdom as proposed in the two kingdom classification. The first feature is the plants show quick response to stimuli. The second point is growth in animals are limited. The third point thereafter is the mode of nutrition. As you know all, the mode of nutrition in animals is heterotrophic. Then they have no cell wall in their cell. They lack cell wall. They have reserve food as glycogen. Central vacuole is absent. They have a well-developed organ system like muscular system, nervous system, skeletal system, excretory system, and various other organ systems. And finally, they have the ability of locomotion. So these are the various features of the animal kingdom as proposed in the two kingdom classification of Linnaeus. So the next topic is the shortcomings of the two kingdom classification system. There were various defects that were the drawbacks for the two kingdom classification. For that, this two kingdom classification was accepted though for a long time. However, some difficulties arised from this classification as several new organisms they have been discovered later which were not placed in this two kingdom classification. So let's see what are the drawbacks of the two kingdom classification system. The first shortcoming was both prokaryotes and eukaryotes were placed together in one kingdom. For example, algae, fungi, bacteria, bryophyta, pteridophyta and spermatophyta all were under plant kingdom. So you can see bacteria being a prokaryote was placed among the plants. Next drawback or shortcoming is both photosynthetic as well as non-photosynthetic organisms were grouped together in the plant kingdom. For example, fungi, they were all saprophytic or they are non-photosynthetic. They are also placed in the plant kingdom, as well as the bacteria which are not always photosynthetic. Next come the third shortcoming. Some animals which show both the features of plant as well as animals, they did not have a separate fixed position. For example, Euglena, which shows autotrophic mode of nutrition in the daylight while they become heterotrophic in the night in the absence of sunlight. These were not placed separately in any of the group. The next topic is three kingdom classification system. This three kingdom classification system was proposed by Ernest Haeckel in the year 1866. He included Protista as a new kingdom in his classification system. So thus he classified Plantae, Animalia as well as Protista. So what did he include the organisms in his new group, that is the Protista kingdom. So he has included algae, fungi, protozoans, bacteria and slime molds in this new kingdom of his classification system. But here also there were some limitations of this three kingdom classification. So let us see the limitations. Now let's see the shortcomings of the three kingdom classification system. In the three kingdom classification system, as you have seen, the prokaryotes like the bacteria were grouped together along with the eukaryote in the kingdom Protista. So prokaryote and eukaryotes were not separated in this classification system. And the second drawback or the shortcoming is that both the unicellular as well as multicellular organisms were kept together in this Protista kingdom. So these are the two shortcomings of the three kingdom classification which was proposed by Ernest Haeckel. So the next classification system is the four kingdom classification system which was proposed by Herbert F. Copeland in the year 1938. By this time in 1931, electron microscope was already discovered by Knoll and Ruska, and it made the scientists very easy to identify the unicellular prokaryotic organisms. So the scientists saw that the bacteria which were still in the prokaryote or the prokaryotic organisms, they had a very different nuclear structure as compared to the others. Thus Copeland, he had grouped the bacteria in another kingdom called Monera. But still fungi was kept in the plant kingdom. So there comes the need of the five kingdom classification. So the next kingdom is the five kingdom classification system which was proposed by R.H. Whitaker in the year 1969. So finally Whitaker has proposed the five kingdoms. The kingdom fungi which was still in the plant kingdom, which was not classified by Copeland, was placed in a separate kingdom. So here you can see the kingdoms become plant kingdom, animal kingdom, Protista, Monera, and finally fungi. Now what were the main criteria that was used by Whitaker for his classification system? Let us look the criteria. So here comes the criteria used by Whitaker for his classification system. So Whitaker proposed five kingdom classification based on this particular criteria. The first criteria he used was the cell structure, thereafter the mode of nutrition, then the thallus organization, finally reproduction and phylogenetic relationships. So these are the five criteria used by Whitaker to classify organisms in five kingdoms. So the five kingdom classification too have some shortcomings, which are unicellular plants which were kept in the kingdom Protista should be kept in plant kingdom. Chlorella and Chlamydomonas, they are included in plant but they should be placed in Protista. Slime mold and Euglena, which has a flexible lifestyle, should be kept in a separate group, is kept in Protista. Viruses and viroids, they are not given a proper place in this classification system. And the lichens, which too are not placed in this proper place in the system of classification which was proposed by Whitaker. So these are the shortcomings of the five kingdom classification. Thereafter, the origin of the sixth kingdom classification came into existence. So let's see the sixth kingdom classification system. So finally the sixth kingdom classification, which was introduced by Carl Lewis in the year 1977. He has placed all the four kingdoms which are eukaryotic organisms separately, like Protista, fungi, plantae and animalia. These are under the kingdom Eukarya, that is the domain Eukarya contain all the eukaryotes, all the four kingdoms, while the Monera kingdom is further classified into two other domains, that is the Archaebacteria and the Eubacteria. Archaebacteria are the primitive bacteria which are basically the thermoacidophiles or halophiles, those bacteria that survive in extreme conditions, and the Eubacteria which are not as that of the Archaebacteria. In the later videos I will be telling you and explaining about the Eubacteria and Archaebacteria separately. So this was the sixth kingdom classification proposed by Carl Lewis. So let's look the next topic. Finally, the merits of the five kingdom classification. In the five kingdom classification, Euglena was given a separate place This is the transition type of organisms which has been included both amongst the plants and the animals. They are given a proper place under kingdom Protista. The next is the fungi. Fungi that has their own biochemical, physiological and structural organizations. They have never been related to plants. So in this system of classification, fungi are separately placed. Then come Monera. The separate kingdom Monera that include the prokaryotes has been created. So Monerans, they differ from all other organisms in their cellular, reproductive as well as physiological organizations. Finally, the basis of this classification. The 5 kingdom classification system is basically based on cellular organizations, the mode of nutrition and the complexity of the structure of the organism. So these were the basic factors that were used in the earliest 2 kingdom of classification. Next come the system that of this classification. It shows the gradual evolution of early organisms into plant and animal. The plant and the animal kingdom are more homogeneous than they were in the 2 kingdom system of classification. So these were the merits of the 5 kingdom classification. So this was entirely about today's topic. The next topic will be the remaining part left in this chapter, which are the various kingdoms. Part by part I will discuss in the further videos. So students, I hope you understood the topic of the needs of classification and the various types of classification system and their drawbacks, and why did the 5 kingdom classification came into existence and it is accepted widely. So in the next video I will tell you about the other kingdoms, like the features of Protista, Monera, which are left. So keep watching these videos and hope you will like the further videos. So don't forget to subscribe my channel and please do put a big like if you like it. As usual I say every time, and do comment in the comment section below if you have any queries regarding the topics. Thanks for watching. Bye.